What's going on, guys? Crypto here, and in this video I want to focus on something different. Usually I do crypto reviews, updates, but today I want to show you guys, reveal and show you guys my investment strategy when it comes to crypto pre-sales. The strategy that I use is called the 2/3 method. I don't know if it's already invented out there, but this is something that I created for myself. And I'm going to explain how this works here in just a bit. I'm going to give you guys examples, scenarios, and kind of show you guys the step-by-step and even the math behind it on how this works. Now, some very important points here before we get into it is that this strategy is not going to make you rich, okay? It's not going to make you a lot of money, but it's going to at least help you to recover your initial investment and or plus gain profits. Now, this strategy is not perfect by any means, okay, but it can potentially help reduce or mitigate loss. And one thing very important to keep in mind before we jump right in as well is that none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research, and like I always say, only invest what you're willing to lose. So with all that taken into account, let's jump right in. Assuming that you have already done your own research on this project, on this cryptocurrency, on this pre-sale, and that you have money that if you lose it, it's not going to affect you because you can afford it to lose it, then this is what I do. For this example or scenario, let's say that the pre-sale price is 1 cent, 1 penny, and I decide to invest $100, and that's going to give me 10,000 tokens. And let's say that after a few weeks or so, the pre-sale is over and you claim your tokens, and now it's finally launched into the exchanges, into the DeFi's, decentralized exchanges, centralized exchanges, or wherever it is launched, is finally out there. And at launch, the price is 2x. Now it's worth 2 cents. And you still have your 10,000 tokens. That is now the value is now worth $200. And really at this point, you have three options. The first option is to just hold, which you can, because the more you hold, then if it keeps going up, then potentially more profits you're going to be gaining and earning, which is great. But that also comes with more risk. Because why? Well, this is a new token. Doesn't have any much history behind it. This is a startup, so that increases your risk. That the same way that it can go up 200, 300%, or even 1,000, 2,000%, it can also go down 100%. So that comes with a risk, or should I say with a very high risk. The second option is to just close your position. That means to sell all of it. And by selling all of it, you essentially have reduced all risk. You remove the risk out of the equation now, and you're just happy with your 2x. So from $100, you made $200 in this example. Of course, if you invested $1,000 and you would have $2,000, which is $1,000 profit, and so on. But just to keep it very simple, let's keep it at, the initial $100 investment, and now you have $200 and you decide to close your position and you're happy with that. So that's the second option. And the third option, which is my favorite option, which is what I call a partial sell. And this is basically the best of both worlds. And this is where I apply the 2/3 method. And what this means is that I sell 2/3 of the value of the $200 in this example, which 2/3 of $200 is 132 or 133 more or less. But just to keep it simplified, and again, it doesn't have to be exactly 2/3. It can be a little bit more, a little bit less, is wherever you feel comfortable. But just to keep it simple, in this example, I sold $140, which means I sold about 7,000 tokens at $140. And that leaves me with 3,000 tokens worth or value of $60. So at this point, I can kind of conclude, or like a summary, is that my initial investment was $100. I sold $140. So that means I recover my initial investment, plus I made $40 profit. And now I have $60 of play money. I call this play money. Some others might call this, money from the game, or free money, casino money, or whatever. But it's the same thing. It's money that is not really yours anymore, because again, you have recovered your $100 of your initial investment plus $40 profit. And whatever happens from here on forward, it really doesn't affect you anymore. So if it goes up, great. And if it drops down, well, yeah, you lost those other $60, but at least, like I said in the beginning of this video, you mitigate loss. You didn't lose your initial investment, which unfortunately, a lot of investors, they end up holding the bag. And so yeah, now let's move on to the next phase. Let's say that the price has gone up even more. Now it's at 4 cents and you're still holding 3,000 tokens, and the value is no longer $60, but instead it's worth $120. Here you also have the same options, either to hold, close your position, or to partial sell. What I like to do, and again, this is what I do and is my opinion, my strategy to play it safe, is that I do the 1/2 method. The same thing like 2/3, but instead of doing 2/3, which you can also do if you want, but what I like to do is to do a half. So I sell half of that. So if it's $120, I sell $60, and I'll leave the other $60, which is the play money, still inside the game. At this point, I have sold 1,500 tokens, which is 1,500 tokens, which is half of $120, which means that I'm left over with $60, and I've made $60. And again, I have $60 still of play money. And let's say that maybe the next day or a few hours, that thing just went up even more. Now it's worth 8 cents, and I have 1,500 tokens, and now those are worth $120. At this point, I've already made from my initial investment of $100. Now I've made from my first, I pulled out $140, and then I pulled out $60. That means I've made $200. Pretty much I 2x my money at this point. And now that it's the token is valued at 8 cents each one, and I have a value of $120 because I'm holding I'm holding 1,500 tokens, 1,500 tokens. I pretty much have so many options. I can either hold if I like. I mean, I've already made my money, and if it drops all of a sudden, I'm not affected by it. I recover my initial investment and plus profits. I already 2x my money at this point. Or I can just close my position, which means just sell it all. I can just say, well, I already made my money. Let me just get another $120 and just call it a day. And I just finished my investment on this project, on this crypto project, and just move on. Or I can just do the partial sell. Again, I can repeat the 2/3 method or the half method or any method really at this point, because I'm not at a loss. And like I said, if it drops, well, it's not going to affect you anymore. Maybe you might be asking yourself, well, if it reached 8 cents, then why not wait until it reached 8 cents or whatever, maybe 10 cents or whatever, and then sell it and make $800, $1,000? Why not sell it when it goes really high? And yes, you're right. You can wait until it like 8x, 10x, or whatever x, and you could make $800, using this example, and you'll make a lot more money. That is true. But you also need to keep in mind of the high risk you're taking. And this is one of the reasons why people are left holding the bag, because FOMO comes in. That emotion, kind of like when it comes to gambling in the casino, you need to know when you need to just walk out with your chips and just cash in, because sometimes you see the price keep going up, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to sell anything. I'm going to keep holding, and not take any profits along the way. What's going to happen? Anything that goes up is going to eventually go down. And when that happens, you start feeling bad. Then there's, you start having to have fear, and there's a lot of selling, the price drops, and then instead of making $800, using this example again, you end up just losing money, because all of a sudden it just drops. People are selling like crazy, and $100, you're probably left only with either the same amount or even less. Sometimes it falls below the pre-sale price, and then that becomes a problem, and you're left holding the bag. So to summarize and kind of recap and wrap everything up, yes, you can wait until it goes really high and then sell high, but just keep in mind of the high risk, and those emotions can be tricky sometimes, or should I say most of the times. So you guys got to be careful about that. And my strategy, again, this is more of on the safe side. It's not perfect. I'm not saying that it's bulletproof or anything like that. No, it's not. I have taken some loss, but doing it this way, at least for me, it has worked long term, and I've been able to take some profits along the way. Of course, it's not the amount that I wish I could be making, but I think that as long as you don't lose any money, you have already won. Even if it's a small profit, maybe you only made like not even 100%, or 2x, maybe you made like 1.4x, not even 2x, but at least you made some profit. At least you didn't lose any money. And I think for me, that's already a huge win, because you hear all these stories of people investing $7,000, $10,000, and then they end up losing it all. So guys, just be careful out there. And this is more of a safe strategy, but you can come up with your own, of course. But again, this is something that has worked for me for a very long time. Now, share your thoughts down below. What do you guys think about this strategy? And if you find this strategy or this video in general to be very helpful, make sure you guys like and also subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And if you want to take your support to the next level, you can also give me a super thanks, and I'll make sure to give you a shout out on the next video. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Check out my other videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.